So just briefly before I go on, so as a fencer, I studied with all of these masters all over the world, and actually the great Michael Dessar, who was my great friend and teacher and master, and his son is here. Michael Dessar Jr. is here. Thank you for being here. Because Michael is in the space, and it means so much to me. Michael changed my life, and he helped me become an Olympian, and that's all you can say about that. And Michael was an artist. Michael Dessar was an artist, and he said he was an artist. And but anyway, so I studied, and he was so generous. He said, study with other people, and I knew right away that's the guy I wanted to study with, because he wasn't like, I know everything. No, he always would push me off. No, go study in Germany, study here, study there, and come back, and let's work together. And I would bring ideas with him, and we'd work together. It was so exciting as a teacher, his generosity of spirit and his passion. But anyway, so I had all this wisdom from these great teachers, but under the pressure of battle of fencing, how do you remember that? And it's so easy to forget what's important, and that's true in life as well. And I had this idea of if I could create a mnemonic, a visual tool where I could, a very simple tool in colors and symbols, I could remember what was important about being a fencer. And then ultimately I figured out what's important about being a human being. And so I still use this tool that I developed in fencing today, and I use it in my teaching at college and everything, and in my own life. And it started with like the simple circle, the simplest form, the self. And this idea, of course, whole, empty, full, that Buddhist idea. And so in passion, love is really important. I'm going to speak to that in a second. So these are some of these ideas, and I'm going to get to why I'm bringing them up. But love, ask for what you need, and allow it in your life. And the idea was if I could remember one symbol, I could remember all symbols. If I could remember one color, I could remember all colors. If I could remember one principle, I could remember all principles. That was my idea. And I still try to remember what I had for breakfast, but it's a tool that I still use. And this idea of like, bring the passion of fencing in your life. Ask for it and allow it. Listen to give yourself time in your life to listen. And this is really hard. I know with we're plugged in with everything all the time now. To unplug, to have some silence. Maybe it's working out, maybe it's walking, maybe it's meditation, whatever it is that you do, to have some quiet. And then when we really listen, we can listen. Double listen is a dream, and it's not the sleeping dream, it's the waking dream. We listen for our life vision, our dream vision, and we all have it. It's inside, but if we don't listen, if we don't create that space and allow it, that wisdom to come up and to dream the dream. But we know in fencing, and we know in life, listening and dreaming isn't going to do it, right? You have to act. We have to step out there, right? We have to do it. Do something about it. Take that first step. So that idea, that triad for me of listen, dream, act is very, very important. And so now I'm back to here we are at the center. So this is a symbol for me that, to be yourself and nobody but yourself in a world that every day tries to make you somebody else is the hardest battle you can fight and keep on fighting. That's E.E. Cummings, right? To be yourself is difficult because everybody wants you to be somebody else. To start from your center, to act from your center, and I'm just thrilled about that word, the fencing center. You center yourself, you trust in who you are and what you're doing, and then you must jump into the dark hole and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Center, trust, and risk. And here I am, yay, jumping off of the cliff, foolishly. And importantly, we have to work together, right? It takes a village, and that's the only way, the fencing center, that's the only way I could have become an Olympian, my teammates, my coaches. So I have a question for you. So what is just one thing that you like about fencing, or what makes fencing special for you? Just somebody. One thing you like about fencing, or it makes it special for you. Yes?
It never stops changing.
It never stops changing. Wow. Yeah, it keeps, like life, like art, yeah. So, and so for me, like, fencing was a martial art. I always thought of it as an art, and I would get pummeled because I thought of it as an art, and I would do well because I thought of it artfully. And I think art is doing a thing well, like paying close attention. And it keeps, so that idea of adapting to change. Something else.
Respect.
Respect for
your opponent, for everyone.
Exactly, and for the game itself, right? I mean, you have to be humbled and respected, because anytime you don't respect your opponent, they will beat you. You know, it's too often that happens. And the sport itself, having respect for doing it well. You know, Michael, I was saying this the other day when I dropped off the sculptures, Michael Desar used to say, every day you step on the strip, you know, you put on your uniform, your mask, you give your best performance. You know, you respect the art of fencing and the craft of it. Do any of you play music or write poetry or artists or maybe just have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Right, you do, right? Or a husband, wife, or partner. The same kind of being in the moment that is demanded in those tasks, the right here, right now, that idea of being fully immersed in the activity of the moment and the endeavor at hand to stay focused on what needs to be done. That is what fencing demands. That word center, yes, Connie, I'm looking for Connie. That word, the fencing center, is such a powerful one. For me, it's balance. The essential self, the center of the soul, if you will. We are here to honor the fencing center. Qi, or Qi, or Qi, is the Chinese word for energy, for life force, your life center. We used to, when I was fencing, we used to practice throwing our Qi. In fencing, we need to center within, and then we need to be able to throw that out from the center, that is to throw our energy where we need it to make the touch, to score the hit. So the on-guard stance is not like that, right, but it's that, right, because it's different energetically from a pose where I'm visualizing the space between me and my opponent. I am already there. I'm already connecting my inner core through my point to the target. So on guard is, I'm hitting before I'm even moving. And I'm connected psychically. And so that's from my center, my Qi. I can never really truly describe this game of fencing, as Mike alluded to again, this lifelong learning. And today specifically, we're here to honor this long-term effort of 30 years, those masters, coaches, moms and dads, these families, those kids, those athletes who had dreams, who still have dreams, to become better and better and better, to perform at their best. I thank you all, Mike, Heath, and singularly, I'm here to thank Connie Yu, to honor Connie Yu for her perseverance. In life, in art, in love, in passion, it takes perseverance and it takes tenacity to stay after it and to achieve and to improve, to give one's best performance. As a teacher myself, I counsel my university students to find subjects that they love, that they connect with, that lights them up with their inner spirit, to connect with a passion. When you find pursuit that is connected with your passion, you will not give up, even when others do. You will become powerful. The going will become tough. Every career, every field, every endeavor is competitive. It is difficult to become excellent, but if you love what you do, you will stick with it. You will see others fall by the wayside, but you will keep riding the horse. With time on task, with careful attention, you can become accomplished at your chosen passion. I had the goal to become an Olympic fencer. It took me 13 years of training, and I was very fortunate. I had success, and I could not have done it alone. I had great teachers and great teammates. I was twice junior national champion. I won the NCAA championships. I won 2 Olympic trials. I was on the U.S. team for 8 years. I finally made the Olympic team and marched into the Olympic Stadium in Los Angeles in 1984. It was a long and difficult effort, a realized dream. Later, as a coach, I was a World Cup coach. I helped train 2 Olympians and 1 national champion. And that is very fulfilling and humbling. My goal was to give my best performance, to help my students give their best performance. My coach, Michael Desaro, who coached here at the Fencing Center, used to say, the reason we train is to repeat our best performance, to have a minimum standard so that on your worst day, you're second, and on your best day, you win. Now, we cannot all do that. I didn't do that, you know. But the strategy was that on the best day, you could be in a position to win. And I prepared myself. I tried to control those aspects that I could control to allow those aspects that I could not to unfold. but I took responsibility for being prepared. Fencing may be two things. One is preparation. You prepare to be ready, physically, psychically, but that is never enough. Two is action. You must act. Fencing is a metaphor for life. We must act. We can't touch if we don't push the point to the target. We must prepare, and we must act. So back to Connie. Her preparation, action, amazing, lovely, intrepid Connie, smiling Connie, tenacious Connie. She's the uber mom of 3 decades of fencing at the Fencing Center. She has acted as heartfelt glue over time and helped grow this center into an enduring destination. One of my favorite stories about, I don't know if some of you, maybe afterwards some of you will tell this story, about the word center and keeping your center, is of a very old master he has his young students, young beginners right in front of him, and he's so old, he's like in his 90s, he can barely walk, barely stand up. And he's about to give a presentation to all of his young disciples. And all of a sudden, from his right, from his left, come these young buck black belts, leaping at him, attacking him. And within minutes, he throws, moaning and groaning on the ground. All of the black belts are like crawling away. And he's kind of, the old man, straightening out his robes. And a young disciple comes up. And he watched the whole thing. He said, Master, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it. Those guys came at you, and you threw them all down. And you never lost your center. And the old man said, it is not that I did not lose my center. I just regained it very quickly. And that's what we all have to do. We lose our center, we regain it. Lose our center, we regain it. But Connie's kept the center for 30 years.